Hey, house guests! Happy Friday! Welcome to today's Big Brother 26 updates and spoilers. Hope you're all having a great day today. It is our third to last spoiler for the season. What? I can't believe it. But our house guests of the day are Nicole Bell, Dorothy D. Diaz, and Derek Johnson. Thank you all so much for your support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate you all so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, we're getting down to it. So check out our Patreon link in the description below if you're interested. We'll get you in there. I am going to be going through our Patreon probably tomorrow morning just to make sure that I get everybody in there. I still have a few people left on the list that I know for sure I have not gotten to yet. So don't worry, I'm going to get you. So how are you all today? I hope you're having a great Friday. Last night, it was finally time for Mackenzie to make her decision. Would she be bringing Cam or Rubina to the final three with her and Chelsea? Well, as we saw, she ended up evicting Rubina. And honestly, I think that was a mistake for Mackenzie. Chelsea was able to manipulate Mackenzie into making that decision. This is yet another line on Chelsea's growing resume. I also just think if we look at this final three, we officially have our final three: Chelsea, Mackenzie, and Cam. I think Chelsea's in the best spot right now. Not only, of course, does she have the best resume, we know this, but I just mean like she's in the best spot to make it to the final two because she's a strong competitor on her own. Of course, she can get there herself, but I do think that Mackenzie and Cam, either one of them would bring Chelsea to the end over each other. So Chelsea, great spot. Like this is her game to lose at this point. Julie had some announcements for us viewers before the episode ended. Well, first of all, she did let the house guests know the final HOH competition was going to begin last night. It did not start on the show. I miss those old days when it actually would. But this is a 3-part HOH competition. We're going to get into all that. Julie let us know that voting is now open for America's Favorite House Guest. I did put our 5 votes towards Angela this morning, so that's exciting. Julie also said Taylor Hale is the new jury roundtable host / moderator. So I wonder if they're doing the roundtable today. Probably, right? Because they got to get that all together. So that's going to be fun to watch. And then we also found out that season 16 winner Derek will be delivering some messages to the house guests on tonight's episode, closing out the AI storyline. We have a little bit on that as well, which we'll get to. So the feeds came back at 11:38 p.m. Big Brother time last night. And while the feeds were down, they did the whole walk down memory lane dinner. And I just think it's sick that they do this before part 1 of the final HOH competition, because I wouldn't want to be eating that food and then like doing an endurance competition. Are you freaking kidding me? No, unless the meal is like some bland ass white rice and unseasoned tofu. Like it has to be stuff that is not going to be heavy, but they're giving them like steak and like fancy food. So yeah, they did that. That's going to be on tonight's episode. I'm assuming they got the messages from Derek about the AI twist. I'm curious if any of these 3 even know who he is, which is so sad because he is arguably one of the best players ever in this game, right? And like, I don't know if any of them even know who he is. That's craziness. I didn't hear anybody talking about the messages from him, so I don't know. But they did also play part 1 of the final HOH competition. It was an endurance, and it sounds like one of those ones where they were standing on like a little platform or something, and then they had their hands over their head and they had to hold on to a bar. So we actually saw that. I think it was on Derek's season, and then season 20 they had something like that. Like they've done it a few times now. But yeah, it's almost like the wall, but instead of holding yourself back onto the wall, you're like pushing yourself away from falling. You know what I mean? It's like it's almost like the opposite in a way. But ooh, that's rough on the arms, right? Very rough on the arms. So Chelsea won part 1. She was celebrating in the back bedroom. She's like, let's freaking go. Your girl came through for your girl. Everyone always assumes that they're our girl or our guy. That's not always the case. But Chelsea, with this win, advances directly to part 3, which will be happening live on finale night. And then before that, Cam and Mackenzie will compete in part 2 today. It's already done. We're going to talk about that in a sec. But that competition will determine who joins Chelsea in part 3. So after part 1, Chelsea and Mackenzie are chatting in the kitchen. I don't know if Cam was in the diary room at that point or if he was just like alone, like upset that he lost, because the feeds came back late last night. I was not awake for this, so I was just eating up any crumbs I could find this morning. So I don't know where he was, but Chelsea and Mackenzie were hanging out, and Mackenzie was really disappointed in her performance. She was the first one out. She's not happy about that. And Chelsea's like, it's okay. We got the outcome that we needed. They have been talking about how they did not want Cam to win part 1 because then they would have to compete against each other in part 2, and one of them would not be going to part 3. So they're just happy that Cam didn't win, right? They thought he was definitely going to win this one when they saw what it was, because it required so much arm strength. And as Mackenzie said, she has baby arms. I get the struggle. But Mackenzie really feels like she embarrassed herself. Wasn't that bad? I mean, come on. But she's glad that Chelsea did win. So Chelsea's encouraging Mackenzie, you're going to win part 2. It's going to be fine. You're going to beat Cam. It's just easy work for you. And Mackenzie is trying to pump herself up as well, being like, I can do this. I can do it. So today, the feeds were down for 2 hours and 23 minutes for part 2. It was Cam versus Mackenzie. I'm not sure what the competition was. It's traditionally a combination of mental and physical. It's usually some sort of knowledge about the events of the season. So we don't know what it was exactly, but Mackenzie won part 2, and she will now be competing against Chelsea in part 3 on finale night. However, Cam, he can no longer get himself to the final 2. He can only be brought there by somebody else. That sucks. It's not a great position to be in, because you got to kiss major ass for the rest of the time that you're there in the hopes that someone will take you to the final 2. Luckily for him, this is a much shorter wait than they would normally have, because usually this would be like days in between part 2 and part 3. But now it's just like 2 days. So yeah, after the competition, final 3, all hanging out in the kitchen. Cam was taking the loss well. He was not sulking, as we've seen him do in the past, but he's apologizing to his family and friends, his dog's in the crib again, for losing. And the girls are telling him, maybe this just isn't your thing. Maybe you should be on the challenge after this. And he's like, oh yeah, I'd love to be on the challenge. Like, I would definitely do that. Sir, these competitions are basically like for babies compared to what they do on the challenge. I don't know if that's for Cam. But anyway, then Mackenzie and Chelsea start razzing Cam about how he was flirting with multiple people throughout the season. Make it stop. Oh my God, it was so exhausting to watch. It was too much. I mean, they cannot stop about how Cam was like flirty with Leah for like 2 weeks, and Chelsea's like, they were rubbing all over you. And Cam can't just like walk away or tell them to F off, because he's got to take it. He needs one of them to bring him to the final 2. So that's where we're at right now. Also, okay, I just saw this a little while ago. So the AI situation is donezo. Apparently, Mackenzie, by winning part 2, killed the AI. So, like, did she kill Ainsley? Ainsley's dead? I know Ainsley was evil, but like, first Janky and now our blue lady icon. No, that's so sad. But anyway, that's that. So tonight's episode is going to be the clip show, the walk down memory lane. Hopefully we'll get to see some stuff that we haven't seen before. That would be nice. And then I guess we're going to see the beginning of part 1 HOH. But we're going to be talking about tonight's episode tomorrow, because as I mentioned, I'm going Rocky Horror tonight. Yeah. So we'll talk about it tomorrow when I do the spoiler live stream. So I hope you will join me for that. It's hard to say at this point who Chelsea would take if she were to win this final HOH. Okay, let me give you my breakdown. Cam, he's just going to be taken there if he goes, right? So he's got no choice. Mackenzie, if she wins, I think she stays loyal to Chelsea. I think she brings Chelsea to the end. But if Chelsea wins, who does she pick? I'm leaning towards Cam. I don't know, but like she seems so genuine when she's talking to Mackenzie about it, but also she seemed so disappointed every time Mackenzie would win a competition when Cam wanted to take her out. So it's really hard to say what Chelsea would do. I wouldn't be surprised if she threw the competition to Mackenzie because she knows that Mackenzie's going to take her. It's really tough to say. So maybe we'll get some more clarity for tomorrow. We'll see how it goes, but I want to thank you all so much for being here. And I also want to thank our super chatters because you guys are awesome. So the Sidewinder, thank you so much. This is their first super on a live stream. Thank you. We really appreciate that. And Lisa, thank you so much for your super chat. Very generous. So I'll see you guys later. Well, no, I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you have a great Friday night. And let's see if anything happens on these feeds. I don't know. They might. I think they're supposed to get some takeout tonight. So they're also talking about drinking. You never know what's going to happen. So thank you all for being here. And until tomorrow, much love. Bye, everybody.